There are going to be some things you will not have a resolution on, you will not have closure on, but you got to let them go. What's happening? My name is Nico, and I'm here to give you another tip, trick, or tool to help out as you pursue your journey of self-recovery. Alcohol, other drugs, substances of any kind, vices of any kind, addictive behaviors of any kind rob us. They rob us from being the best versions of ourselves, and right now the world needs the best version of you. You have a solution to a problem that you overcame that someone else needs. I want you to provide that solution to them. What that entails is getting you to the best version of yourself, and to get to the best version of yourself, we talk about the things that nobody else wants to talk about. Because the fact is, I'm not an angel. I carry no halo. A lot of people want to tell me, oh, you're such an angel for helping out substance use disorder. Oh, you're such a good guy because you do alcohol abuse and awareness. Honestly, I want to tell them to shut up. The reason why is because most of the time they're promoting it. Most of the time they talk to me as if it's a moral stigma, and they're proud that I'm trying to get my moral standards back. The reality is, some addicts that I know, some alcoholics that I know have higher morals and standards than some of these politicians and these, what do they call them, community stakeholders. It cracks me up because a lot of the time the people that society looks down on are sometimes the people who have the best assessment of the situations. I have to let go of some things, and I'm still working on it. Right now, the two biggest things that I have to let go of are some injustices that happened to me. There's a couple family members, and they're by blood family members. I don't really care for them. I don't like them. I don't consider them family. And they've done some real messed up things. I personally feel that it should be handled in a certain way. Like excluded from family events. I'm going to make sure you know I don't like you type stuff. Other family members of mine don't believe that's the case. And I'm talking immediate family members. I don't like them. The reality is I stay away from them because I have no problem in vocalizing my thoughts. No issues. And I write checks that I can cash. I have to let that anger go, because even right now I can feel my spirit just getting upset. And that type of thought process takes me in a direction, puts me in a wavelength that I don't enjoy being in. But that's an area that I have to let go of. I'm not going to get any closure. I'm not going to get any justice out of it. The reality is, these people are probably going to get away with what they get away with. To me, in this realm, with the way that I think about it. But I'm not God, and I'm also not the judge or the jury of the situation. The problem is when they invite me to certain family events, because of a code that I live by, I can't be around these individuals. My code of conduct will not allow them to act a certain way around me. And they get away with it because, honestly, my immediate family members ask for passes for them. That's the only reason why. I stopped giving out those passes because I feel like people need to conduct themselves. I don't want to say righteously, that's not the right term, but you have to have a code of conduct And if you don't carry yourself with your own code of conduct, I can tell. And then you want to come tell me about things that I did wrong or make little passive remarks. I don't get down with stuff like that. Recently, I had an event that I didn't want to go to, quite honestly. But, per my code of ethics, I had to show up and show face. Prior to the event, I had to work through this situation because I have to let go of these things. Quite honestly, they're not that big of a deal. My feelings were hurt. And my ego was damaged. Let's put it that way. Because of the way that I know how to live, because of the way that I previously chose to live, when somebody hurt my feelings or my ego was damaged, I would retaliate in not the best ways. My instinct is to retaliate to these individuals. That's my instincts. I have to let go of my feelings being hurt. I have to let go of my ego being damaged. And I have to remind myself that hurt people hurt people. Dudes that never busted a grape are the ones that talk the loudest. I have to remind myself that there's a reason that they feel uncomfortable around me, and it's because I live a certain way and they don't. I have to let go of all the family history, and I have to choose to live in peace going forward. What that doesn't mean is that I have to let them run the show. What that doesn't mean is that I have to put myself in environments, situations, and circumstances that are going to cause me more hurt than they are going to cause me healing. When we work through this journey of self-recovery, we need to let some things go. By letting these things go, we free ourselves. We free ourselves from the habitual or ritual of beating ourselves up because we can't solve the problem the way we want to. Hurting ourselves because it's not doing anything. We're the only ones thinking about it. We're the only ones mulling over it. We're the only ones getting upset about it. These jokers out here don't care, quite honestly. They don't. But what I've noticed is that they won't go to certain places they know I'll show up at. Like, they know, like, per my code of ethics, if I gotta be there, then they won't pull up. I have to let that go too. Because in my head, why were you guys talking all this stuff, hurting my feelings and bruising my ego, but now you won't be in the same environments? My whole theory is keep the same energy, doc. I have to let these things go, though, and it's very difficult for me, guys. It is. I don't like it. I also have to remember that there was times that people let my bad actions, they let them go. There's people who I've robbed and they've said, I forgive you, Nico. There's people who have set the way for us to learn how to let go. I think a lot of times in active addiction and in the different stages of self-recovery, we get plagued with memories of who we are, how we acted, and those feelings and emotions are what drove us to the behaviors, the addictions. We got to let those go in order to recover ourselves. We got to let go of the past so we can heal from it and move forward. What do you need to let go of? Was there a circumstance like mine where somebody hurt your ego and you need to let go of it? Was there an event? Was there a circumstance? The reality is, very little of those things in the past can we control or can we influence. What we can do is we can move forward by choosing how we want to think. One example I have for you is, yes, these people hurt my feelings, they hurt my ego, my pride is wounded. But that doesn't mean that I have to act the same way. I can see a better outcome. One of my affirmations is I see kingdom outcomes in all situations. What that means is I see the outcome that not anybody else can see. The outcome that will glorify my Creator. I don't glorify Him by smashing someone's face in, yelling and belittling people. I don't glorify my Creator by acting a fool. The way that I used to handle things, that was acting a fool. One of the ways that I let go is I tell myself how I want to conduct my actions, how I want to act. That's how I started creating the code of conduct that I have. Non-negotiable. And if I can sit from that place, the place of, all right, here's my code, here's the standards that I set, and I will meet these standards, it's way easier to let go of the injustices, the hurt, the pain that people, circumstances, and events have caused us. If you're listening to this podcast, you recognize that you are not an angel, but you also know that you have something to give back to this world. My goal is to help guide you to the place where you find that purpose. It's usually somewhere amongst the biggest pain that you got. Remember, you aren't created to be an angel. You are created to do better.